before streaming, before iTunes, there was a single name that promised music for free and nearly brought an empire to its knees. In the late 90s, a digital earthquake struck the music industry, its epicenter a small, unassuming application named Napster. It wasn't merely an app, it was a cultural phenomenon, a lightning rod for controversy, and ultimately, a cautionary tale about the perilous tightrope walk between disruptive innovation and outright copyright infringement. Its rise was meteoric, its fall inevitable. Conceived by a college dropout named Sean Fanning in 1999, Napster offered a simple, seductive promise: instant access to millions of songs, all at no cost. It wasn't quite a traditional download service. Instead, it connected users directly to each other's hard drives, allowing peer-to-peer file sharing. This technical nuance, the idea that Napster itself didn't *host* the music, would become central to its defense and its undoing. Its growth was staggering. Within months, millions of users flocked to the service, downloading everything from pop anthems to obscure B-sides. College dorms buzzed with the sound of dial-up modems and hard drives filled with pirated MP3s. Napster wasn't just changing how people listened to music, it was fundamentally altering how they perceived its value or lack thereof. The major record labels, initially slow to grasp the magnitude of the threat, soon found themselves in a state of utter panic. Their traditional business model, built on physical album sales and tight control over distribution, was being dismantled bite by bite. They saw not innovation, but theft on an unprecedented industrial scale, and they were not amused. The Recording Industry Association of America, or RIAA, became the music industry's primary combatant. In December 1999, they filed a landmark lawsuit against Napster, alleging widespread copyright infringement. Their argument was clear: by facilitating the exchange of copyrighted material, Napster was directly contributing to a colossal loss of revenue for artists and labels alike. The battle quickly escalated beyond corporate boardrooms. Iconic artists, most notably Metallica and Dr. Dre, publicly joined the fray. Metallica, known for their fiercely loyal fanbase, discovered their unreleased song "I Disappear" was widely available on Napster, sparking outrage and a very public legal challenge. Dr. Dre, too, demanded his entire catalog be removed, citing massive financial losses. Napster's defense hinged on its status as a mere conduit, arguing it was a search engine protected under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act's safe harbor provisions. They didn't host the files, they claimed. They just helped users find them. But the courts, perhaps wary of setting a precedent that would undermine an entire industry, saw things differently. In July 2000, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction ordering Napster to prevent the transfer of copyrighted songs. The technical challenge was immense. How could a small startup accurately identify and block millions of infringing files? This ruling, later upheld by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, effectively sealed Napster's fate. Despite frantic attempts to implement filtering technologies and strike deals with record labels, the legal and financial pressure proved insurmountable. In July 2001, Napster was forced to shut down its service. The once revolutionary platform, the darling of free music, was silenced. It was a stark message to any future disruptors: copyright still mattered. The company attempted a rebirth as a legal subscription-based service known as Napster 2.0. But the magic was gone. Users had moved on to other, often equally illicit, platforms like Kazaa and LimeWire, or were simply unwilling to pay for what they once got for free. The brand, once synonymous with rebellion, became a ghost of its former self, eventually acquired and rebranded multiple times. Yet, Napster's legacy isn't solely one of failure. Its seismic impact forced the music industry to finally embrace digital distribution, albeit on their own terms. It paved the way for legitimate services like Apple's iTunes Store, launched in 2003, and eventually the streaming giants we know today. It proved that people craved digital music, and that convenience could, eventually, outweigh the desire for free. Napster stands as a monument to the double-edged sword of innovation, a brilliant concept that, through a combination of youthful naivete and legal intransigence, unwittingly sowed the seeds of its own destruction. It taught the tech world a harsh lesson: disruption without respect for established frameworks, however antiquated, often leads to a dead end. But what happens when innovation, instead of outright defiance, simply outpaces the law? Our next deep dive explores a similar clash, one that redefined privacy in the digital age. But what happens when innovation, instead of outright defiance, simply outpaces the law? Our next deep dive explores a similar clash, one that redefined privacy in the digital age.